Wesley Deeds leads an upstanding, yet predictable existence.
I can literally set my watch by Wesley. He always does the same thing, and he's always gonna do the same thing.
But when he meets a down-on-her-luck cleaning woman and her young daughter, he starts to question his own life.
We live in the real world.
And I don't.
Tell me how much the gallon of milk costs.
As he starts to help her out, he finds himself falling in love in Tyler Perry's Good Deeds. Greg and Leah, you've just seen it. Leah, why don't you tell us about it?
Tyler Perry's Good Deeds is a story of Wesley Deeds, a man of privilege and legacy and wealth. He doesn't really have to think about anything.
I grew up fifth-generation Ivy League graduate. Groomed by my father to be a businessman. Groomed by my mother to be a gentleman. My life is perfect.
In comes Lindsay, played by Thandie Newton, and her 6-year-old daughter, who is always on the verge of some kind of a breakdown. I mean, anything that can possibly go wrong with this woman typically does. She doesn't have any money, she gets evicted. She is a part of the janitorial crew in his building. Through paths crossing, her presence in his life compels him to take a stand and decide what he wants to do in life.
It's interesting because at the beginning of the movie, he sets up with an opening voiceover that Tyler Perry's character feels trapped in his life and that he feels like he's living a planned existence. And so I feel like the Thandie Newton character comes in and it's not that she suddenly makes him see that there are other possibilities in his life. It's that he desperately wants some escape and he sees in her a possibility for that escape.
This particular film represents a maturation, if you will, in terms of Tyler Perry's storytelling abilities. He has figured out ways to engage in subtlety and nuance, and so you have some complexity going on with these characters and the way in which they interact with each other.
It's definitely a melodrama, but it's missing one of the key elements of the melodrama, which is a clear and unredeemable antagonist. His mother, for example, is very controlling and domineering, but we don't see it out of rage or jealousy.
Or malice.
Yeah, or malice. She wants the best for her son, and that this is what she thinks the best is.
How does he handle himself as the lead?
Well, he's a very quiet, reserved person, especially in the first half of the film. And a lot of the scenes are really structured on him fading into the background or not really being a dominant, aggressive force in the scenes. His transformation in the movie is very subtle.
Thandie Newton plays Lindsay. How does she carry herself?
For the beginning of the film, it sort of is her film. She's the one with this really pressing struggle. As he becomes more active, it sort of transitions more and more to him.
Thandie Newton is one of my favorite British actresses. She does a really good job here. I think, though, she does a little too much gesticulating with her head and her scowl to demonstrate that she is, distraught.
I want you to live in it.
What?
It's one of our corporate apartments, Lindsay. We've got a few of them. Nobody's here most of the year. You can just live here as long as you need to.
I can't.
She does a really good job in complimenting him, as well as being this alternative to Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union plays his fiancée.
And she, like him, is very put together, doesn't really question the things that are happening, feels like this is routine and that routine is good.
And then you have Felicia Rashad.
Who plays the mom, right?
Yeah. It was just fantastic and is able to do with really simple dialogue just so much. She can create any emotion and any tension in the scene just in how...
She has some stellar moments. When they have this celebratory, glass of champagne with the entire company, and Lindsay, the Thandie Newton character, enters into that space, the mother immediately spots her as a threat, and she goes in for the kill.
I loved Jordan Thompson as Thandie Newton's daughter. She is just fantastic.
She is the trope in which all of the stakes rest.
Sure.
Okay? Mom has to get stable in order to protect her daughter.
Right.
And so with that, because of the way that she's lived, she does have a worldliness about her that most 6 or 8-year-olds should not be aware of.
Yeah. So Tyler Perry also directed this movie. Does he bring anything new to his style of directing?
Working with Alexander Grushinsky, which is a cinematographer that he's worked with on several other films, he has learned to trust that the camera can do wondrous things. He's pulled back, he's opened up the space.
You can put the camera out someplace other than right in front of the actors.
Exactly. Also, he's improved in his visual design.
That has been a problem with past Tyler Perry movies that I've seen, is this really looks like a set.
To the same token, yeah, I feel like some of the San Francisco landmarks are sort of used as like, look, we're in San Francisco.
Right.
We're still in San Francisco, guys. Don't
So
forget.
they're postcards. It's like it's postcard
Sometimes
shots.
I
Or
feel
almost
like it is, yeah.
it almost looks like stock footage.
I actually really enjoyed hearing about this movie. Let's take it to a vote. Grab your tickets.
There's not much new in this haves and have-nots melodrama, but it's hard to resist its charms. See it.
So solid performances, good direction, and canny visual design come together in this quiet little movie that tells us that doing good deeds is where we find the best in ourselves. So see it.
So your votes add up to 2 tickets, which is an enthusiastic see it for Tyler Perry's Good Deeds. Cheers, folks.
Cheers.
Yay.